Welcome to another episode of Talking with WIT Kevin and Son. Today, I am Kevin McLemore. I am your host. I'm flying solo. I'm a three-time published author, award-winning author, and about to have one of my books by Hallmark turned into a feature film. This episode is brought to you by RMK Productions and the 10 United Podcast Network. Our mission is to uplift through using the power of story, share our experiences and perspectives using the framework of teaching, learning, and modeling. Our purpose is very simple: hope, HOPE, helping other people every day. Today, we are bringing you 4 unique ladies. Our stories are going to be personal, engaging, inspiring. These 4 women have come together through the power of their voice to not only empower women, but to have some experiences that normally we don't have access to. They are a new podcast group. Today, I'm going to introduce you to Miss Janelle Dawkins, Miss Tish Davis, Erica Burnett, and Janelle Dawkins. Hopefully I got that right. No, I said this wrong. Last person, Burnett. Latrice Burnett. I apologize. But let me give you a little information about the business of podcasts. When I first started in 2019, I first looked at podcasting. There were over 780 podcasters that were registered here in the United States. In recent reports by popular media groups, 60%, 62% since that day have increased to listening to podcasts. That's over 2 million new registered podcasters. I have always asked myself, who's listening? So I'm going to share that with you. 57% is white America, 13% is Black America, 16% is Asian, 10% is other. I have no idea where this group found the other, but there's other people listening. However, the Black audience is an untapped media or market. Advertisers and sponsors are chomping at the bits to get a piece of this market because content is king. So today, YouTube dominates the podcast world with 42% of people listening to or viewing podcasts. Why? Because it's probably a little easier. Reports say that Black listeners will listen to more podcasts if there were more Black podcasters. The reason why these 4 women are here today. Content is king, and Black businesses, Black historians, true crime stories, Black fiction books, entertainment, and family values is content for Black podcasters. And today, I'm going to introduce you to, and not in any particular order, Miss Tisha Davis, Latrice Burnett, Latrice Bennett, Erica Burnett, Janelle Dawkins. These ladies are coming to you as new podcasters, so I want you to welcome the Biz Sisters. How you doing, ladies?
Great. How are you? How are you?
I am doing fine. And please, for my listeners, if I went beyond the 3 minutes of introducing it, it is a tough pill to swallow when you got 4 amazing, intelligent women that are on your show. You have no idea of the backgrounds of these young ladies. Latrice Bennett, she's an author, mother, has a bachelor's degree, and owner of a healthcare firm. Janelle Dawkins is native to Maryland. She's a project manager of United Way, and she's the owner of Cup Chicks, Custom Tumblers, and the Golden Flicker Candle Company. Erica Burnett, certified life coach, full-time administrator and coordinator and entrepreneur. Tisha Davis, this is how I met you guys, through her. Entrepreneur, probably has more degrees than Dr. Phil, owner of Design Junkie and Swag Ladies. If I need to be corrected on any of you guys' bio, please feel free. I'm not ashamed to be corrected. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Biz Sisters, Erica, tell me about Erica Burnett. Who is she?
Erica Burnett is an entrepreneur certified life coach who is dedicated to helping others establish a happiness in life and their happiness and peace in their life.
All right. And Janelle, tell me about you.
Well, Dawkins is by trade, very organized project manager, but by likes, a creative who just wants to help others develop their talents, use their talents to help elevate their situations.
And Latrice, tell me about you.
So Latrice Bennett is the former owner of Touched by Angels, the current owner of Same Face, Different Emotion, where I go out and speak and help people just get motivated to do better, as well as motivation to understand that you can do great things regardless of what you've been through.
And Tish Davis, you know I saved you last because you like to talk. Tell us.
It's Tisha Davis, and I did used to get in trouble in school for talking too much. So yes.
And believe it or not, Tisha and I met because she's actually, you know, if you look on my website, all the swag that I have, my t-shirts, my cups, my hats, and whatever, she is the designer and the creator of that. So we support our people. So I'm going to go ahead and let you elaborate a little bit about TD's background.
Thank you so much. I am the proud owner of Design Junkie Tees, where we help business owners and organizations to brand their businesses through apparel and promotional products. I also have Swag Lady, where we are a vehicle for women to raise their voices through apparel. I'm also a mom and grandma of 3 very active and beautiful children. I got 2 girls and a boy now, so very busy, and I do work full-time as an event planner as well. So very busy and really excited, very happy to be a part of the Biz Sisters podcast. We have, as we said, we were on the phone the other day and we're just like sisters now. We're just stuck with each other. And, you know, Erica holds us together. She's like our corporate person, keeps us in line. You won't meet anybody more creative than Latrice. Like usually she's not sitting still. She'll be cutting something and she's like, I'm doing a paint and sip on Friday with teen girls in the community. Like she's always serving Camden community and doing so many things. Janelle's like our tech woman, our creator of a lot of different things. So we all have like very different talents and skills, and it just works together, and we kind of, you know, inspire and hold each other up. And it's just been a great friendship in addition to partnership for the podcast.
Well, I will say this, and this is probably going to be a question, you know, for most people. They see one man talking to 4 women. This could be a terrible horror movie for most guys to be in a room with so many empowering women, but I'm not intimidated. But I'd like to know how this came about. Who thought this was a good idea for 4 very dynamic women to come together to produce one podcast? And the second part of the question is, who came up with the Biz Sisters and why? So Erica, how did you guys come together?
Initially, it was Miss Janelle Dawkins over here to my right on the screen. And she said, oh, I just have so much that I could share. And I just think we should do something like this. And we were all on board. You know, we figured we have a lot to share. We were experiencing a lot of areas as far as our personal life and business as well. We've been in business for a long time. And we thought, you know what, it's not a bad idea. We have a lot to share with others, and we know they can learn, you know, some of the things that we've experienced in our lives. And we thought this was a great way to empower women throughout the world. So we're looking to make a difference in the lives of others.
So Janelle, since you brought all these people together, you know, in this business, content is king and queen. So let me correct myself for those people out there that want to find a reason to smack me upside the head. I always say, you know, I don't mind being pop, just don't hurt me. Give our listeners some idea of what people can expect from the Biz Sisters. Is this going to be a more on the entertainment side, the education side? Is it going to be directly two women, or is it going to be a platform that some of us men may learn a little bit more about how to deal with the opposite sex, or how to deal with business and deal with women of the opposite, people of opposite sex? So tell us about your format and what we should expect.
Well, I can definitely say when we all get together, it's never a dull moment. So I'm sure that our listeners will find some entertainment out of our podcast, but our overall goal is definitely to be informative and educational, because we all come from vast different backgrounds and we have a lot to offer. We have a lot of different experiences. So how our podcast works is we take different topics and we break them down. Like on an upcoming recording that we are planning to do, we're going to talk about Black Friday and some of the challenges that we've had as business owners and how to launch and have a successful Black Friday sale, and also compete with major brands. That's one of the most marketed holidays. And, for the small business owner, having to compete with those major brands is major, because we just don't have the budgets to do that. So we want to help our listeners navigate through those times and trials and tribulations and be successful and get their piece of the pie that is going to occur during that holiday.
Well, why don't we do this? Since I don't have a co-host and I'm not the smartest one in the room because I'm surrounded by all of you guys. So tell me about, how do we do this on Black Friday as a business? Where do we start? Let's start with Tisha. What is Black Friday for one?
Well, we one thing you have to understand with small businesses, we're not Sony, we're not Verizon, we're not large. So we don't have those same resources. So we can't come with everything 70% off, everything 80% off, because we pay more per unit than the larger companies. We're not able to purchase 100,000 of anything. Usually we might purchase a dozen, so we don't get the same pricing. So we can't do those major slashes in pricing that a lot of consumers look for. So the most that, well, it depends again, if you sell products versus services, but I'm a product-based business. So for me, something would be good. It would be either bringing back something that was really popular that would only be available at that time, or to offer a bundle or a buy one, get one, some type of a deal for that one day. Exclusivity is a great thing. So if it's only available that one day, or the first 12 hours of the day, or something that brings an urgency. So maybe you would promote it, maybe starting that Monday, letting people know that it's coming. And so when that day comes, it's a short window and you can get people to really just come and just, buy whatever they need. Sometimes you have to create the need and let people know that maybe these are great gifts for the holidays. You got to give scenarios in why people should buy it. But for small businesses that sell products, bundles is a good way to sell for Black Friday.
All right. So is quality also a question that comes up with Black Friday, or is value the big push for Black Friday?
I think for Black Friday, I think it was the premise of the day was value and scarcity, because pre-COVID, when people would go to the stores for Black Friday, there would be just a small amount of items that were like very, very low in cost, and people would line up outside the stores, sometimes even overnight, to get products that were not even going to be there. They would fight over, it might be 10 items in the store that had this, because it was like, while supply lasts, the supply would be low to begin with, but the idea was to get you there so that, if you did all this to get into the store, you'd buy something, and you probably would buy more than what you went for. So it was really just to get you in there so that you'd start purchasing. So it was really made on value and buying something of high desire. It was usually like items that they knew their teenagers or their kids wanted, but it was like a slashed price. But you never got to get it, and it wasn't really there. But that was how they got people into the stores. And then there's some people that just loves the, just being up, just being there. A lot of teenagers love going there, and they would drag their parents to the stores. They just like the excitement of being there and trying to get some items that was on their Christmas list for dirt cheap. So I don't think people were so concerned. I mean, I don't think quality was a question, because if it was a high demand item, the quality was going to be there. For us as small businesses, we have the burden of explaining that there is value in what we're selling, because we're not a well-known store, and people don't know us. So we do have that extra burden of always letting people know that our services or our products are of high value.
Ms. Bennett, answer me this. How do you, as a small business, a small Black business, overcome the stereotype within our own community as that we're afraid to deal with Black businesses, and we continue to go to Amazon.com or other resources in order to buy? How do we overcome that stereotype or that bias within our own community as a business person?
Well, as a business person, I believe that first and foremost, you gotta allow the people to understand that you can be trusted. So a lot of us don't trust a lot of people anyway. Right. And where does that stem from? So the reality is that we want to know that the product can be trusted. Right. And the product is valuable. So a lot of Black businesses, it is not that they struggle with that. It's just getting the understanding that we can value each other. Once we get an understanding of valuing one another and coming together as community, then we can go ahead and support one another, because that's where the lack there is of, support. We have to learn how to support each other. We have to learn how to get out of the mindset. It's a perspective. If we get out of that mindset that a Black person is valuing their price too high, or they're priced this way or they're priced that way, and you go to a department store and you spend way over what needs to be spent, but you could have supported your Black sister, you could have supported your Black brother. The reality is that we have to see value in one another. So if I see value in my brother and I see value in my sister, then regardless of what it's priced at, is that I supported you. So that's how I look at it. I think we have to just get out of that mindset, but it's very hard when you come from a mindset in society that teaches us that value lies in certain clothing, certain brand names, certain sneakers, and all of these things. So when we start to see value in one another, we'll be able to get out of the mindset of thinking that your Black business doesn't have value. When I see value in you as a person and see value in communities and how we come together that way, then we'll be able to break that concept.
Janelle, in business, is staying on this topic, is that I spent 15 years marketing product directly to QVC. As an entrepreneur, when do you put people on notice that you're coming for Black Friday? Is it weeks before? Is it months before? Is there a timing, or is there a season? How do you start promoting your business as a Black business in order for Black Friday to be pulled off properly?
So one of the tips that I definitely want to share with our listeners is that you do need to plan it out. And I say about 30 days in advance, but you give teasers. You don't release your actual offer until, like Tisha said, till that Monday, because if you give your competitor enough time to create the same offer or something similar, then you lose out. So it's really a timing game, it's strategy. You really have to listen to your audience and see what the people are actually looking for this season, because it does change every season and it requires a lot of innovation and strategy.
All right, and I'm going to give you a little bit of trade secret because I'm not strapped or obligated to. In QVC, if you notice that in Christmas in July, that is their test market to see what products they're going to bring in for the fourth quarter. So July 25th, August 25th, and soon as the jack-o'-lantern candle is blown out, QVC goes into full marketing of their product for their fourth quarter. So, you know, test your product to see what the response is, and then start to build on that. So that gives everyone an idea of what the Biz Sisters are about when it's talk about business. But does the Biz Sisters ever talk about personal?
All the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, every chance we get.
Yep.
Do we always agree on personal?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
All right, Erica.
What do you mean by personal? I mean, we share personal experiences. It's not something we vote on. What do you mean by that?
Well, this is a subject that will get me in hot water if I bring it up. The last time we did this, and I'll tell the audience, we did a perfect podcast before, and I forgot to record. So it's the first time I've ever screwed up, and my team got a big kick out of it because I'm the person with all the detailed notes. I got everything timed down and whatever. So I am human. So the young ladies were, I'm blessed to have them back. At that time, when we did the recording, there was a smack heard around the world. And we don't need to go into that because I don't want to bring it up again. So there's a couple things that are out in the market that are important to me. I mean, we got NBA players that are punching teammates out. We've got Kanye West that's being canceled everywhere as of today. His agent just let him go. We have what is it? The movie, which I think that we should have a conversation about, The Woman King. Our own people are talking about protesting that movie because it's not a true depiction of what historical content should be about. And they forget that when we go to movies, we go to escape from reality. It's called entertainment, and there's some truth. So with that said, let's talk about something that's important, because you guys are empowering women. And I think that movie is the setup for the Black Panther 2 and empowering women. Let's talk about The Woman King before we wrap up. What are your feelings on that? If you disagree, it's okay. If you agree, it's okay too. But I know that it's a movie on a project that I think all of our Black people or people of color, no matter what color you think you are or what you adapt to, in order for us to get a piece of the pie, we don't need to have a seat at the table. We need to invite them to our table. So we need to start supporting our friends and family that are in business, entertainment, and education. And we need to be the first people to line up to buy our products. We do it in droves. We spend the night for an Apple phone that basically costs us the same amount as our car payment sometime, but we won't do it for our own people. You know, I'm a big proponent to saying the 107 historically Black colleges and university. We need to stop sending our children to these universities that cheer for them on Friday and Saturday night, both academic and athletic, and 4 years vote against their freedom. And we need to stop going to places that people wish we would go back to our own countries, and they forget that we were born here, but they take our dollars like there's no tomorrow. So enough of me preaching. I've been didactic enough. Let's talk about The Woman King before we wrap up. What's your feelings? I think most of you guys have seen it or heard about it. And how should we support Miss Viola Davis and the other people? Erica, go ahead.
Erica, I have not seen it. I have not seen it. I've been so busy. I have not had time to even step foot in a movie theater. I have seen ads like in commercials and bits and pieces on social media about it, and it looks like an amazing movie, and I've heard nothing but good things about it, and that I need to get there soon before I get in trouble.
All right.
So I'll be going soon.
Has anyone on the panel seen it?
I have.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about it.
I thought it was an excellent movie. And when you talk, or when you made the comment regarding it's not a true depiction of our history, how many movies have been released, TV shows, books that have been a true depiction of our history? There is some truth, or it's truth inspired, but at least the story is out there. It gives our young women, our young girls some hope, able to see some African warriors. They did exist. So that lets some other people know that they do exist, and that, gives them something to look at. One thing that was really inspiring for me in the film was that the way that they trained for the film. And in my previous life, I have done some acting roles as well, and I know how hard it is to be on set and deliver those lines. So just to see, I know how much work they really put into that. And it was just a phenomenal movie. And I'm the type of person that I don't typically line up for the Marvel movies, or, the blockbuster movies that are projected to make millions of dollars. But I go to the movies maybe about 4 times a year. When something is really released that I really want to see and I stand behind it, I show up. So The Woman King was definitely one of those films that I did that for.
All right. So, Latrice,
Yeah.
anything else that we should expect from the Biz Sisters as far as content? I mean, is there any subject that is taboo that you won't talk about? Give us a list of what we should expect from the Biz Sisters.
As far as the Biz Sisters, first and foremost, you're going to expect any topic. We talk about everything. We are not exclusive, but we are inclusive. And as far as certain topics, we talk about everything. So there's nothing that's not going to be excluded. At some point, we are going to discuss different things. We might talk about, our growth. We might even talk about, if we are dissolving a business, what it is that we should do with it, and how we go about some of the things how we feel about dissolving a business, and how do you feel about no longer having that? Like, what does it do for you? So I think because we always come from different perspectives, we can all be inclusive with one another and transparent. So I think we have that in our podcast at all times. So like I said, it's nothing that's going to be excluded. We're going to be able to talk about just about everything. We even when it concerns some of our personal life. So we even include that. We don't exclude anything, because we want people to understand that we are still human. We're not just people who have businesses and we don't have a life either. We have a life. So we have families, and we like to be inclusive and transparent. So
What about guests? Is this show going to be just the 4 of you guys? Or are you going to invite people on? TD?
I think we will. We've talked about having guests on the show. It's not something we do every single show, but we definitely wanted to entertain bringing some guests on the show, probably some other women business owners to talk about, because we want to talk about issues that affect particularly Black women business owners. And that's a lot, we have a lot on our plates personally and professionally. A lot of us work and we have businesses, we have children, we have, some have husbands, they have a lot going on, and all of it is on the plate. And, every aspect of your life affects the other aspects of your life. So we actually have a whole list of topics that are to come. But because it's, almost Black Friday, we decided that would be our next topic. But we have a ton of topics that we're going to be discussing, talking about, does your business enslave or free you? So just topics that we know, it's difficult. It's difficult being a Black woman entrepreneur, because we are the most likely to start a business and the most likely to end a business, and the least likely to have resources or support for our businesses. So it's definitely a hard thing, just because we start a business, that's just the beginning. That's the step 1. But there's going to be so many trials and tribulations that goes into the business. As you were saying, there are people that would prefer to, they trust Amazon more than they would trust an African-American business owner. However, what they don't realize is we might be on Amazon too. You know, you don't always know who's behind the business. And there are some companies that give the impression that the business is Black owned when it really is not.
Yep.
That's a whole nother thing. But,
That's a whole,
so,
whole nother topic. And I hope even if you guys get connected with Amazon, you don't leave my package that says perishable on the front of my sidewalk in the rain and call it delivered.
Oh, gosh.
And I will say Amazon, that's my bone to pick. And so I'm holding you guys to a higher standard, or Amazon, step up, because I'll be doing business with the Biz Sisters. I'm going to ask you one more question before you guys go out. And the reason why I asked you if you're having guests on, or if it's just going to be you guys on the platform, I'm going to ask each one of you, who would be your ideal guest if you had a wish list, just in case they're listening and they could show up on the Biz Sisters. So Janelle, I'm going to start with you.
First, oh gosh, my ideal guest, who is hot right now?
It's a good question.
I would say, gosh, who am I admiring right now?
I got an answer.
You could say,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
You know, actually, I when I was in college, I had an opportunity to visit FUBU, and I saw the beginning works of Damon John and how, you know, hearing the stories of how he sold, you know, t-shirts from the trunk of his car to where he is now. So, okay, yeah, I pulled it all together. It would either be Damon John or Magic Johnson, because they are phenomenal businessmen.
Yes, you ain't
Yeah.
never lied.
TD, what about you?
I would say Tabitha Brown,
Oh,
or one person I would love to sit down and talk to, Russell Simmons.
oh, that's the beginning of hip hop, Mr. Simmons. And I would
I
say,
read his book. I admire him so much and his work ethic. And I recently, just this week, he did a video. He was actually talking about Kanye West's comment about the Jewish community. And it just took me back. I was like, I just admire him so much and his business astuteness. And I would love to sit at the table and talk to that man.
all right. See here the way she said she would just love to talk to that.
I would love.
Emphasis on love.
Yes, look at that. Latrice.
Oh, okay. I would definitely love to talk to Tyler Perry. The reason for that is because, one, he has a story. And myself, I have a story. So it's always somebody that basically has a story for me. So Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, you name it, and we all got a story. But his story is just so phenomenal. It's like, you know, I'm praying like one day I'm going to be.
You know something, on this show, dreams do come true. I'm about to interview one of Tyler Perry's co-hosts on my show coming up in the very near future. I won't release her name yet because we're still working on confirmation of that. But Erica, you've had a chance to, hopefully they haven't taken all the top ones for you. You have your own. Look at her shaking her head.
I have my own. I have to say, my girl, Angela Bassett.
All right.
Angela Bassett, she embodies so much strength, so much class, and she's just a queen in her own right. She just exudes across the screen confidence, strength, and she has shown through her work that she's not accepting of just any role. She selects what she wants to do and how she wants to hold that position, that character at that moment. I just would love to sit down and just at her feet and just sit there and say, okay, what should I do next? That's how she really does. I have so much respect for her.
And in real life, I've had the honor and privilege to meet her.
Oh, wow.
She is that and a lot more. So Angela Bassett, I hope that these names that have been tossed out there are just not something just hanging in the air, I hope when the Biz Sisters launch their podcast and we release this podcast, that everyone that is part of RMK Productions and the 10 United Podcast Network, I hope that you tune in and subscribe and follow them. I don't want them to show up at just 0 for the next 6 months. I want you to subscribe and follow them, support them as they grow. Remember, every podcaster, for the first 6 or 7 months, we are basically talking to a hole in the wall. RMK Productions provides you with an audience that's already built in that is smart. You know, I always say the people that follow RMK Productions are not people that drive by an accident. They stop to help. And we have a higher call to action, not looking for 100,000 or 1 million people to follow us. We're just looking for good people that want to do good for humanity. So with that said, Erica, how does someone reach the Biz Sisters if they want to be a guest on your show or follow you?
Sure. If you want to talk to the Biz Sisters, be a guest on the show, or find out more about us, you can visit bit.ly/Biz Sisters pod site. That's bit.ly/Biz Sisters pod site. You can also send us a note, an email at bizsisters1234@gmail.com.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been treated to 4 very, very dynamic women. I am honored and I'm pleased to know you, to be associated with you, to support you. And you guys always have a seat on Talking with Kevin and Son. I want to thank Latrice. Thank you for coming on the show. Janelle, I want to thank you. Erica, I want to thank you. TD, I want to thank you. And to the Biz Sisters, I wish you nothing but success. I hope you blow up. I hope you're bigger than, call me daddy. And for those of you that are sponsors and advertisers, don't wait until they become very expensive. Jump on the now. Because I know it's more expensive when you become a star than it is to be part of the rising star. So, with that said, we've covered a lot of information here, and hopefully we entertained you and we opened your eyes and we presented opportunities where hope can thrive. If we have touched you in a certain type of way, I would ask you to go to RMK Productions and Network and subscribe and follow us on our YouTube page. If you would like to be a guest, or you're a new podcaster and you are serving your community, please send us your information at info@rmkproductions.org. My grandfather always said, when you get to a place when you can help someone else, look at my logo. It says reach one, teach one. And so with that said, we'll fade to black and we're out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Biz Sisters, and look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.